strong hook. Have you ever wanted to talk to someone, but you didn't know what to say? Maybe you saw a new classmate. Maybe you met a new coworker. Maybe you wanted to join a conversation, but the words did not come out. If that sounds familiar, stay with me. Today, you will follow a simple story about friendship, confidence, and everyday English. And by the end of this story, you will learn many natural ways to talk to friends in English. Let's begin. Character Introduction. Emma was a quiet girl. She lived in a small apartment near the center of the city. Every morning, she walked to work with a cup of coffee in her hand. She worked at a bookstore. The bookstore was cozy and peaceful. Emma liked books. She liked reading. She liked listening. But there was one thing she found difficult: talking to people, especially new people. When customers asked questions, she smiled and helped them. But starting a conversation was different. It made her nervous. One Monday morning, something new happened. A young man started working at the bookstore. His name was Daniel. He looked friendly. He smiled at everyone. He said hello to all the workers. Emma wanted to say something, but she didn't know what to say, so she simply smiled and walked away. Later that day, she thought about it. Why is talking to friends so difficult for me? She asked herself. Daily life situation. The next morning, Emma arrived at work early. The bookstore was quiet. Only Daniel was there. He was arranging books on a shelf. Emma felt nervous again. Her heart beat a little faster. She thought about turning around, but then she remembered something her grandmother always said. Friendship starts with one simple sentence. Emma took a deep breath. She walked toward Daniel. "Good morning," she said. Daniel smiled. "Good morning, Emma." Emma felt a little better. Then she asked, "How are you today?" Daniel answered, "I'm doing great. How about you?" Emma smiled. "I'm good, thanks." The conversation lasted only a few seconds, but it felt like a small victory. Sometimes friendship begins with simple questions. Good morning. How are you? How's your day going? These short expressions can open the door to longer conversations. Problem or challenge? During the next few days, Emma and Daniel worked together. They greeted each other every morning. But their conversations never went beyond that. Emma wanted to become friends. She wanted to talk more, but she always worried. What if she said something wrong? What if the conversation became awkward? One afternoon, she was organizing books when Daniel walked over. He looked excited. "I watched a really good movie last night," he said. Emma wanted to respond, but her mind suddenly became empty. She couldn't think of anything to say. There was an awkward silence. Then Daniel smiled politely and returned to work. Emma felt disappointed. That evening, she sat by her window and thought about the moment. Maybe talking to friends wasn't about saying perfect things. Maybe it was about showing interest. She decided to try again tomorrow. Conversation and learning moments. The next day, Daniel mentioned the movie again. This time, Emma was ready. "Oh, really?" she said. "What was it about?" Daniel smiled. "It was an adventure movie." "Was it good?" Emma asked. "Yes, I loved it." "What was your favorite part?" Daniel laughed. "That's a difficult question." The conversation continued naturally. Emma noticed something important. She didn't need perfect English. She only needed curiosity. People enjoy talking when someone shows interest. Useful questions can keep a conversation going. What was it about? Did you enjoy it? What happened next? What do you think? Really? That's interesting. Tell me more. These simple expressions are very powerful. Over the next week, Emma practiced using them. One day, Daniel said, "I'm thinking about learning how to cook." Emma replied, "That's interesting. What would you like to cook?" Another day, he said, "I want to travel someday." Emma asked, "Which country would you like to visit?" Every conversation became easier. Every day, she felt more confident. A small, emotional moment. One rainy evening, the bookstore closed early. The streets were wet and gray. Emma waited near the entrance. She looked worried. Daniel noticed. "Everything okay?" he asked. Emma hesitated. Then she answered honestly, "I'm a little stressed." Daniel listened carefully. "My mother isn't feeling well." Daniel nodded. "I'm sorry to hear that." Emma felt grateful. He didn't try to change the subject. He simply listened. Sometimes good friends don't need perfect answers. They just listen. After a few moments, Daniel said, "If you ever need someone to talk to, I'm here." Emma smiled softly. "Thank you." Those two words felt meaningful. Thank you. Simple words, but sometimes they carry a lot of emotion. That evening, Emma realized something important. Friendship grows when people share both happy moments and difficult moments. Building a real friendship. Over the next month, Emma and Daniel became close friends. They often had lunch together. They talked about books. They talked about family. They talked about dreams. One afternoon, they sat in a small cafe near the bookstore. Daniel asked, "What kind of books do you like?" Emma laughed. "Too many." "Come on," Daniel said. "Pick one." Emma thought for a moment. "I like stories about ordinary people." "Why?" Daniel asked. "Because they remind me that everyone has a story." Daniel nodded. "I like that answer." The conversation continued for almost an hour. Emma noticed something interesting. Good conversations were not about speaking all the time. They were about sharing, asking, listening, responding, showing interest. That is how friendships become stronger. Motivational turning point. One day, a new employee joined the bookstore. Her name was Lily. She looked nervous, very nervous. Emma immediately recognized the feeling. It was the same feeling she had when Daniel first arrived. Lily stood quietly in a corner. She didn't know anyone. Emma smiled. She walked over. "Hi, I'm Emma." Lily smiled nervously. "Hi. Welcome to the bookstore." "Thank you." Emma remembered all the conversations she had practiced. So she continued. "How's your first day going?" Lily relaxed a little. "It's going okay." "That's good." Then Emma asked, "Have you worked in a bookstore before?" The conversation began. A few minutes later, they were chatting comfortably. As Emma walked away, she felt proud. Months ago, she had struggled to start a simple conversation. Now, she was helping someone else feel welcome. She realized that confidence grows little by little, one small conversation at a time. Useful English Expressions Review. Let's review some useful expressions from today's story. When meeting someone, good morning. Hi, nice to meet you. How are you? How's your day going? When showing interest, really? That's interesting. Tell me more. What was it about? What do you think? What happened next? When talking with friends, how was your weekend? What do you like to do for fun? What's your favorite movie? Have you ever been there? When supporting someone, I'm sorry to hear that. Are you okay? If you need someone to talk to, I'm here. Thank you. When ending a conversation, it was nice talking with you. See you later. Have a great day. These expressions are simple, but they are useful in real life. Try using them whenever you can. Little by little, they will become natural. Relaxing and positive ending. Several months later, Emma sat in the bookstore cafe with Daniel and Lily. The three friends laughed together. The room felt warm and comfortable. Emma looked around and smiled. She remembered the day she was too nervous to say more than good morning. Now things were different. Not because she became perfect. Not because she learned thousands of difficult words, but because she kept trying. One conversation at a time. One question at a time. One friendly smile at a time. And maybe your journey is the same. You do not need perfect English to make friends. You do not need perfect grammar. You only need courage to start. A simple hello. A simple question. A simple conversation. Friendship often begins with small words.
So the next time you meet someone new, take a deep breath and say hello. You might be surprised where that conversation leads.
Keep practicing. Keep listening. Keep speaking. And remember this: every great friendship starts with a simple conversation. Thank you for listening, and I hope you have a wonderful day.